What's up, guys? Yes, I'm back. I just wanted to touch on the update to the Brian France saga. He has decided to momentarily step down and take a leave of absence. At first, somebody said it was a suspension, indefinite. Now they're saying he chose to step down, and it's just a leave of absence, indefinite. You can call it whatever you want. The bottom line is that he seems to be trying to control the narrative. So he's not waiting for NASCAR to do something. He's sort of taking a proactive approach, which is the smart thing to do. However, it's all bullshit. Really, at the end of the day, he's still sort of making the call. And NASCAR, whether it's the board of directors, other members of the France family who are also in the top echelon of NASCAR, they need to all get together and they need to nip it in the bud before it gets worse, because it's only going to get worse. He's not. It doesn't look to me like he's going to step down on his own. His heart isn't, like I said, it's not in running NASCAR. I don't know. I just think he likes the perks of being the CEO of NASCAR. You know, he wants the benefits, but he doesn't really want to put in the work. Even if he wanted to do something, it's pretty clear he has no idea what he's doing anyway. So, not only is he just fucked up in many ways, but he's incompetent as well. They need to do something before it gets worse, because it's gonna get to a point where the NASCAR is not going to be able to recover, and they need to see the writing on the wall. It's been on the wall for a long time. This is the opportunity for the board of directors, the powers that be, to get together and do something. Now, it's not too late. At any time they could just step in and say, you know what, it's not up to you anymore. You as the CEO, you're doing a lot of damage to the company, to the brand, and we're stepping in, and you have to go. So that can happen. There's a chance it might happen, but that's not going to happen without public pressure. So hopefully there is enough public pressure to make it happen for the sake of the sport, because it doesn't look like he's leaving on his own. He's trying to control everything, and in many ways it's just the typical response by a privileged, wealthy person. You know, these people in high society who are born into wealth or just have this privilege. They're used to getting everything they want. They're used to everybody kissing their ass and being afraid of them and just letting them do whatever the fuck they want to do. They don't understand when it's time, when it's like, okay, this is pretty much out of your control. They're always the last to know. So in many ways, it kind of reminds me of Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, it's a different thing, but another rich, privileged guy with a lot of money who's been used to a lifetime of abusing people or using people, doing whatever he wants, getting away with it, until you hit that wall. And then now you're at that point where, oh, guess what? You no longer have that same power. So what happens is, even at this point, nothing really is going to happen to this guy. You know, he's not going to do jail time. You know, you or I, any one of us, if we get caught with an ounce or two of weed, we're in serious trouble, right? That's how it works in America, you know. And if you're one of these privileged, wealthy people, famous, whatever it is, they catch all the breaks. They get a slap on the wrist. They're allowed to get off with probation and community service. That's what's going to happen. He's not going to do jail time. It's fucked up. And this guy's caught, you know, DUI is a serious charge. and twice over the legal limit. On top of that, he got caught with oxycodone. That's a serious drug. That's not fucking weed. Just to remind people of how fucked up our priorities are in America and how we treat people who have money and privilege and the rest of us. We don't get that same treatment. So don't feel sorry for Brian France. He's not going to do jail time. So, that's the way it is. But NASCAR, the sanctioning body, the shareholders, the people in the boardroom, the people that make the decisions, they really need to get together and get rid of him. Because it's going to get to a point where every day that he's there is damaging the brand. And somewhere, Jeremy Mayfield, I can guarantee you, is laughing his ass off. He's having a good time. And, NASCAR wants to be hard on, these type of offenses. Well, here you are. Here you have the CEO. This is your chance to step up and do the right thing. So that's the latest, but I'm not really surprised. He's not going to go away willingly. Somebody in his family or the higher ups in NASCAR, they're going to have to go to him directly and tell him, you need to step down or we're going to get you out. Because he's not doing anything positive for NASCAR. Can anybody name anything he's done that has helped the sport, to promote it, to help it grow? Now, I talked earlier about to me the biggest problem above all else. It's not really the competition on the track. Yes, there's a problem there, but it seems like NASCAR's only focused on fucking around with the package, with the rules packages. That's not your biggest problem. Your biggest problem is expansion. It's appealing to a wider audience, a bigger, wider demographic. Okay, because the ratings are down. It's not just the empty seats at the racetrack. The TV ratings have been going down steadily for a long time because NASCAR isn't branching out and expanding and trying to get people that don't normally follow motorsports, don't really follow NASCAR. These are the people you need to go after and say, hey, look, we have something here that's exciting. Come check it out. You will be excited. There's a lot more to NASCAR than you think there is. And this isn't the type of environment that you probably grew up thinking it was. Check us out and you'll see there's a lot of exciting things here for you to latch on to. NASCAR's doing a terrible job. They're not trying. And that's the thing that bothers me the most. I would have more respect if they were trying and failing at certain things, but I don't even see the effort. There was a time, I think it was in the late 80s, early 90s, where NASCAR actually went to Japan and they ran, they were trying to do this thing, nothing huge, but it was a really cool experience. People in Japan love American culture. They eat up everything we have here. Hip hop music, cars, and there's a lot of people there who would love NASCAR. It was something that was expensive for NASCAR, and it was it's not something simple to do, but they were trying. They tried things. But that was under a different leadership. That was under Bill France, Jr. Brian France has not shown any of the character traits or qualities of his father or his grandfather. And like I said before, there's no shame in saying, this isn't for me, it's not my passion, I want to do other things with my life. I'm going to hand control over to someone else who can guide NASCAR to where it needs to be. I'm not the person for the job. And I think people would commend him for that, but he's not going to do that. Because he wants his cake and eat it too. He wants to be the CEO of NASCAR, but at the same time doesn't want to put in the work, doesn't want to do what's necessary, doesn't seem to care. This has been an ongoing complaint about that people have had about him as the CEO. He's just not as involved as he should be. And as a CEO, you have to eat, sleep, and shit what you do. And I don't see that. Nobody sees that with him. So I don't want to continue to beat a dead horse. Everybody hates Brian France. He sucks. But it's not up, if you leave it up to him, he's not going to leave willingly. NASCAR, the higher-ups, the shareholders, the board members, whoever it is, the powers that be need to all collaborate, get together, and nip this in the bud before it gets worse. NASCAR right now is at a very crucial point. They're hemorrhaging sponsors. So that's when you know you have a problem. Sponsors have been leaving NASCAR in droves. And even the biggest sponsors are now cutting back. There aren't many full-time sponsors anymore. Now you're seeing a lot of these bigger sponsors doing only a partial schedule. Or maybe doing half the year, and then the other half of the year someone else is the primary, and then there'll be a secondary sponsor. Target left. Target's a huge fucking sponsor. They fucking left. Home Depot left a while ago. These sponsors are leaving. And that is the worst sign, because these people know where the money is. They wouldn't be leaving if there wasn't a problem. And those TV ratings and the empty seats at these races, that's what they see. And it's not worth it to them. It used to be where it wasn't anything for these sponsors to spend $35 million a year to sponsor a car full time. Those numbers they're just not acceptable anymore. They're looking for deals. And until NASCAR can prove to them that they are a viable market for them, they're not going to come back. And this sport cannot survive without sponsors. They're not like other sports. Other sports, you have these huge television contracts, huge viewers. They don't rely on sponsors as much as NASCAR and sponsors. There's no other sport where these two things coexist and need each other, like in NASCAR. So there are a lot of things that need to be addressed, but playing around with the rules packages for these cars, that's not the problem. Yeah, they do need to tweak and do this and that, but adding spacers, tapered spacers, restrictor plates, putting bigger spoilers, all of these things to slow cars down, to make them easier to handle, that's the opposite of what you should be doing. You want more horsepower, so that when these cars go into the corners, you can't just stay wide open on the gas. That's where passes are made, when the better handling cars are going to get by the other cars that don't handle as well, where guys have to lift. So one moment you're saying we're reducing the spoiler, we're going to make these cars harder to drive, make it about the driver, but then you go around and then you do this bullshit at the All-Star race, and you get excited over a couple of idiots who think that this is going to work everywhere. And I told you guys, it's a disaster waiting to happen. That's going to be the final nail in the coffin if they go through with this stupid rules package. I hope they don't. It's not too late to just walk away from that. NASCAR at its best has been about horsepower, cars that are hard to handle, okay? Bring that back, you're not always going to get the perfect race. But you can't just, every time there's a race that isn't as good as the last race, start thinking we got to fuck around with the rules package. Enough is enough. Focus on expanding and appealing to a wider demographic, a bigger market. If you can get fresh faces to come to get involved in the sport, I'm telling you, that's where the future of the sport, the success or failure is going to lie. You can't have a sport with no fans. And the fans that exist, they're dying off. So, I don't know what else to tell you guys. Those are my thoughts. And I hope that NASCAR acts and acts soon. Because pretty soon, every day that they allow him to remain as the CEO is going to just do more damage. This temporary stepping down, indefinitely, that doesn't mean anything. That means he can come back whenever the fuck he feels like it. It's a vacation. So NASCAR needs to step in. Don't leave it up to him. So that's it. I look forward to your comments, and hopefully we have some news about NASCAR Heat 3. I do suspect that before the weekend comes, they'll probably release some footage, maybe some gameplay footage at Michigan, because that's kind of what they did last year, depending on what track they were at. The game is 1 month away, so I'm excited, guys. I want to see more, and I do want to say something else. I do believe Colin Hudson, another YouTuber, did a video comparing or talking about the graphics and compared to last year and stuff. And there's some good stuff there. And the more I look at this game and the little bit of footage we have seen and screenshots, stuff like that, I am starting to see a little bit more and more and catching things that, yeah, there is more there. It's just a lot of small details, and you got to look for it. But overall, I think that's what elevates as a package, as a whole game, as a package. It's a lot of the little things. You're not going to see any one thing that blows you away, but I like what I see so far. And I look forward to, hopefully, by this weekend, I do another video, hopefully talking about more gameplay stuff. So, that's it. I don't think there's anything else to talk about tonight. And I look forward to your comments later.